and welcome back to TV Burp. Surgeon with giant hand on Holby.
That combined with the hole in the heart.
Sergeant George Miller on Heartbeat reveals a new ventriloquist act.
You want some of the sound stuff? He doesn't want any.
Get back in the box. I don't want to go in the box. Get back in the box. I don't want to go in the box. And on Celebrity Big Brother, Chantel's family celebrate her newfound celebrity status. Celebrity Big Brother. Let's just remind ourselves of some of the contestants. Michael Barrymore, yes. Pete Burns, or as I remember him, Homer Simpson. Then, if you're into sparkling conversation, look no further than newly born celebrity Chantel.
Second nomination is going to be George. He always thinks he's right. What he says, like, you know, order in the court. But you're not in, Houses of Parliament now. We're all going to ring order in the court.
I couldn't have put it better myself. By the way, do you always wear that cactus on your head, George? Nice to see Rula Lenska back on the box, though. We haven't seen her since the old Ronald McDonald adverts. What do you think of the Big Brother house, Rula? I'm loving it. And to top it all, Jimmy Savile dropped in. The best thing about this was it gave us all a chance to dust off our old Jimmy Savile impressions. Everybody! Now then, how's about? I have here a letter that says, Dear Jim, could you fix it for me? Yeah, it starts to get a bit boring after a while. Yeah, I think George summed up this year's inmates rather well.
It's quite a nice mix of people, actually.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, quite a nice mix of people, really. Yeah. The sort of bunch you'd find on any high street in Britain. Or circus. Here, did you catch the sound of musicals on BBC One at the weekend? No! Me too. The sound of musicals. You can be sure that every nursing home in the country was tuned in. And it's all presented by this little skylark.
Thank you, everybody, and hello and welcome to the sound of musicals.
Wait a minute. If she's there, who's looking after the nail bar? Nail bar! Nail bar! Here. You know when you meet someone for the first time, a good introduction sets you up for the rest of your time together. Here's John Barrowman introducing Ruthie Henshaw.
I'd like to introduce you to a woman who I've known for many years. You're going to be seeing a lot of her in the forthcoming weeks on The Sound of Musicals. Let me introduce to you the original Roxy Hart, Miss Ruthie Henshaw.
Yeah, compare that introduction with this one from Holby.
And this is Leon Harris, 28 years old, admitted early this morning with rectal bleeding.
I must say, I've really been enjoying the new season of Holby.
You'll never be happy. That's the least you deserve.
And a Happy New Year to you, too. Excuse me for a moment. I was just going to have a go with a late Christmas present. In the meantime, have a look at this.
We want to do a kind of investigation. It'll involve us inserting a telescope into your rectum.
I'll play with it later. Meanwhile, down in the lab, the test tubes have built themselves a little fun fair. Faster, faster! Which brings us to complicated medical conversation of the week.
Complicated medical conversation of the week.
I'm going to go for a rigid sigmoidoscopy.
Why? It's a complete waste of time. It's obviously a pancolitis.
The colon's in the acute phase is very dilated. There's no way we could consider an ileoanal pouch.
So there's no option but to go for a subtotal colectomy. He doesn't need to have a perforated toxic megacolon.
But what is the best way to resuscitate someone who's stopped breathing?
Stop breathing again.
Alice tickled his foot.
You tickle his feet. That's right. If you're first to the scene of an accident, shoes and socks off, tickle the feet. If that fails, try the chin. It is difficult to know what to say when you visit someone in the hospital, though, isn't it?
That's the thing about geese. It's best to go for crossbreeds, because they get fatter quicker.
That's what I always open with, goose chat. Here, who fancies a game of illness top trumps?
So what have you got? Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Ovarian cancer.
Bird flu! I win! Here, what's your worst nightmare? It's the dingles! Doctor, I'm having a relapse. Quick, tickle my feet. This was a surprise party for Sam's wife, Alice. And look at Zach dancing. I haven't seen such great moves since I passed the window at the cobbler's. Oh, excuse me for a moment, won't you?
Welcome to a new week. We are determined to strike at your dominance.
Steady on, Noel. There's room for all of us. I don't know. He's changed.
Hey, Harry. Cyril Henry here from Sandhill. I hope you enjoyed our big news storyline on the bill this week.
His story is that your cat came into his garden.
Beat that, CSI.
Exciting stuff. There was also a case of a dog being shot.
Got him for safety at first, and then he became part of the family. What kind of animal shoots a dog?
Cat with an air rifle. Fox with a grudge. Meanwhile, DS Phil Hunter and DC Terry Perkins were making preparations for a very different TV show.
So we've got bread, milk, panty liners.
Bread, milk, panty liners. It's ready, steady, cook. Here, what's your first move if you fancy someone, lads? Dinner? Go for a drink? Maybe a movie?
Terry and I were never an item. We were never even nearly an item.
Really? Well, in that case, I'd like to invite you to my cousin's wedding.
I heard King Kong's good. What's that song from Mary Poppins?
That constitutes sufficient grounds to justify a search under the misuse of drugs.
If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. And this week, it finally dawned on June Ackland that she's been in the bill for 20 years.
Come on.
20 years up in smoke. You'll never get that back, June. Holiday Showdown now, where people go on holidays they don't like. Now, often, when one family are first contacted by the other, there's a clue to where they might be going on the text message.
Woohoo! The text is here.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning, yes.
Hope you are up for the crack.
Up for the crack, yes.
With lots of Irish nectar, walks in
the Emerald
Isles.
Irish nectar, Emerald Isle, yes.
So where are we going?
Where are we going? Is it Ibiza? What do you think?
the pricking of my thumbs. Something evil this way comes. Oh, he's passed out. Quick, get his shoes and socks off and tickle his feet to bring him round. Of course, this was Living TV's Derek Acorah's Ghost Towns. Yes, supernatural sleuth Derek Acorah and Daniela Westbrook off EastEnders travel around in a van hunting for ghosts.
You never really feel quite alone in there.
Wait a minute, travelling around in a van hunting for ghosts? I've seen that before somewhere. Hey, Derek, where are you?
Over here!
Yes, Derek and Shaggy, sorry, Daniela Westbrook off EastEnders, find themselves in Shrewsbury in an old haunted hotel.
Oh, something's blown on the back of my neck.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's just going round there.
It's okay, it's fine. Just keep breathing, keep concentrating. What are you feeling, Olivia? What? It's just tickling, as if someone's just stood behind me.
Yeah, it's the cameraman, love. Yeah. But when they travel to the attic of an old bookshop, things really start to hot up.
I'm aware of a woman that of nasty intent, horrible. She used to, what was she? What was this woman?
She was Sam Mitchell. It's Daniela Westbrook off EastEnders, you fool. You haven't forgotten her already, have you, Derek? Later on, their relationship really hits the rocks.
Why are you here? Why are you bullying this poor...
Go away, slut!
Come on, Derek. We've all got to work together. At least sort out your differences off camera. Meanwhile, Derek feels he's getting close to catching the ghost.
I'm feeling cold right behind me.
Are you? Okay,
Very
well, that's
cold,
good.
Yeah.
Can you feel that, ladies?
I can feel it right behind me. It's ice cold right behind me. Really cold, yeah.
If any of you spirit energies are listening and watching,
that's cold, yeah.
We would like you to step forward and come close to the ladies.
And I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you meddling idiots. So, Derek Acorah is the new Ghostbuster, Scooby was the old one. But which is better, Scooby-Doo or Derek Acorah? There's only one way to find out. See you after the break. Go on, Scooby. Welcome back. Pete Burns' boyfriend celebrates how well he's doing in the Big Brother house. Derek Acorah, first casualty of relaxed licensing laws.
Today, come forward.
I'm staying! Do your talking while you're walking. Storyline alert at casualty.
I'll clap eyes on you ever!
Ooh, that's what I call a handbrake. And there's a levitating policeman on Heartbeat.
Dr. Trent was very reluctant to risk involving the police at all.
So now, thanks to
Here, you know Channel 4's You Are What You Eat?
Yes!
Well, when they show you all that bad food that they normally eat in a week...
No, John, this is what you eat in a week.
I'm quite ashamed to see that that's what I've been eating.
That reminds me of something.
This must have...
Kerry Katona's Christmas Iceland advert. Yum, yum. Paul Burrell's back on the box. Yes, in Australian Princess, where he and Fergie's sister Jane train up ordinary Australian gals to be princesses. Here's the lineup of princesses in waiting.
One particular student.
Hang on, who's that in the armour there?
Hello, can I join in too? Hello.
Paul Burrell sees his job as educating these girls in matters that will be hugely useful to them in later life.
It's perfectly all right for you to pick up the spears of asparagus, which have no sauce.
Oh, you can do that, can you? Because normally I get a big bunch of asparagus spears and just shove them down my gob. Chantal, your dinner's ready! It's asparagus spears, it's your favourite! Asparagus spears? That's Brittany's little sister, isn't it? If that's how you eat asparagus, Paul, how do you eat a banana?
You split the belly, ends off, split, roll.
Ends off, split and roll. See, I prefer this method. Now then, how's about, would you believe? Yeah, it gets a bit annoying after a while. Here's Paul Burrell's advice to his princesses in waiting.
I think it's important to retain your dignity.
Maintain dignity. Quite right, Paul. Ends off, splits and roll. And of course, with Paul Burrell involved, there were some tender memories of Lady Di.
She was an angel. I don't know why she had to die like that. When I heard about her death, I was like, she's not gone. Just like Tupac.
Just like Tupac. I sometimes wonder if she'd still be here if she hadn't hung out in the hood with Biggie Smalls.
One of Princess Diana's golden rules was, Paul, always remember arrivals and departures.
Yeah, you're fired. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Sunita's brother turning into Danny Baldwin. Here, do you ever get tablets mixed up with food?
Just take the pill, Rosie. No. Just to be on the safe side. No. It's not a pork chop.
Pills, pork chops. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that's ridiculous. How on earth could you get the two mixed up? Look, I've got the pills here, Rosie's pills. Let's have a look at them, look. Here they are. You know, they do look a little bit like pork chops. And that's not the only tablet she's on, no. She's on these too, look. Carrot tablets. That's to help her see in the dark. The little potato tablets, that's to help her lose weight. Then the little Brussels sprout tablets for wind. Then when she's had that lot, she has that tablet for pudding. Elsewhere on Corrie, Mike Baldwin offered us his Gollum impression.
Oh, yeah.
Narrowly beaten by Laurels from Emmerdale.
Well, I'm so proud of you.
I don't know about you, I love old-fashioned entertainment shows. The BBC have got The Sound of Musicals. Here on ITV, we've got Dancing on Ice. Whilst on Channel 5, they've got this. Diet Doctors.
And this is the equivalent of a week's production of fecal matter.
That's entertainment. This week on Diet Doctors, the girls met Georgina, who had a rather personal problem.
A poor diet and a lazy lifestyle have left her with adult asthma, frequent sweating and extremely sluggish bowels.
Sometimes it can be 2 weeks before I have a bowel movement.
That's all right, we'll wait. Forget it, we'll come back later. I tell you what, though, I seem to have lost my little pink towel. I had my little pink towel here earlier, but it seems to have gone missing.
It's when you move, then you really notice it, don't you? Because when you're putting the pounds on day by day...
Charming, that is. No, of course not. This is the special pink suit they get their victim to dress up in, just to make them feel really good about themselves. It's like something you get from IKEA for storing shoes in. ever get the idea that the cameraman's getting a bit bored?
In some areas of Liverpool, prices have dropped by up to 70% compared to this time last year.
What's going on over there? This is, of course, How to Be a Property Developer with Gary McCausland. Now, he may be able to do up houses, but...
I was totally against Amanda and Tracy buying this property from the start.
Just look at that parking. Shocking. So, what were the properties up for development this week?
A former public toilet in Totterdown, an up-and-coming area in Bristol, just around the corner from their last property.
Who will buy my wonderful toilet? It's a toilet, urinal with ensuite sit-down.
Right, so this is it.
This is one of the toilets. This is the men's toilet.
The heady heights of toilet development.
There we are, this is the ladies.
Oh, so much posher in here.
I wouldn't go in there if I were you.
I'll be about 2 weeks. All right.
Yeah, give her a fortnight. Give her a fortnight. I must say, I am looking forward to next week's Heartbeat. I can't wait. Hello? What's that? Oh. Well, bit of late news. We go back now to diet doctors.
How are your bowel movements, Georgie? Bowel movements, did you say? Well, once and sometimes twice a day.
So let me take you there, and you and I
That's all from us. See you next week. Good night.
Well, next, the fight is on to sound like a star, and they're getting younger every day with a brand new series of Stars in Their Eyes Kids. Then, how can it get better than last week? They've got a lot to live up to in Dancing on Ice at 6:45 and at 8, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
To TV Burp. Pete Burns on top of the pops. On Celebrity Fit Club, Bobby George manages to escape without anyone noticing.
That collectively, your team is...
Jolly Green Giant visits Holby.
All right, I'll talk to him.
And Smivvy does his impression of a steam train on the bill. Yes, the mood is pretty grim down at Sunhill, so Adam Acaro tries to lighten it. The old arrow through the neck gag. Elsewhere in Sunhill, their investigations took them to a church. Jesus said, I am. Jesus said, I am. How does that continue? Let's have a look as we follow it on round the corner of the building. Jesus said, I am not in at the moment. Please leave a message after the tone. Isn't it great when you throw a dinner party and everyone clicks straight away? Don't you hate it when the cameraman wears his glasses on the end of his camera? Of course not. It's our own Emmerdale. Poor Steph. She was in a bit of a state. You see, she'd seen a spider.
I keep telling myself, look at the spider. Look at the spider over and over.
That's not a spider, that's your eyelashes. You're frightened of your own eyelashes. Which brings us to Creepy Baby of the Week.
Creepy Baby of the Week. Creepy Baby of the Week.
Here, that bloke off Star Trek's back on the telly in a show called 11th Hour on ITV1.
Well then, have you heard of the hemorrhagic poxy?
No, but I've heard the Kaiser Chiefs are very good. Here, who do you have on speed dial on your phone?
Probably kept the numbers on the speed dial.
Try 4.
Why 4?
Work, ex-wife, kids mobile, second job.
Try 5, Patrick. Try 5. Isn't it annoying, though, when you're eating a cream bun and you have to take a phone call? Casualty now. And what we all love about Casualty is the setups. You're watching the scene thinking, how on earth could that end up with him in Casualty?
It's upside down. So will I be when she reads it?
You're not serious?
It's okay, I've done a bungee jump before, right?
A bungee jump off the top of a building wearing a T-shirt that says "Marry Me" upside down, come up level with girlfriend's office, she sees the T-shirt, says yes. What could possibly go wrong? Foolproof. If that hadn't worked, his other idea was to set fire to himself, then, when she smelled the smoke, write "Will you marry me" in the air with a sparkler. This week saw a welcome return for Robert Winston. Yes, the plucky gynaecologist fronts Child of Our Time on BBC One. Instead of watching it as it went out, I thought I'd tape it.
How will their parents influence their lives? And how will their genes and their environment combine to form their personality? This huge project will last for 20 years.
Yeah, all I've got's an E180. Where can you get the 20-year ones? Huh? They do them in Dixon's. Oi, Chantel, get down Dixon's and get us a 20-year videotape, would you? It's Child of Our Time on the box. Hey, wouldn't it be exciting to go behind the scenes on Rosemary and Thyme, ITV1's hit show for the over-80s? No, it is very gentle. In fact, if they were to show it directly after Heartbeat, the overall sedative effect could kill a pensioner. That is why they're never shown back-to-back. How on earth do they come up with a brilliant idea like Rosemary and Thyme?
The show was the brainchild of seasoned TV producer Brian Eastman, who realised there was potential in combining gardening with murder mystery. The programme's name picked itself.
That was almost the first thing that we had. That immediately gave us the notion that the title music would be based on that old folk song, and when you see that title, you kind of know what to expect, really, with the show.
You know what it's like? You're searching through the herb rack and suddenly you want to make a TV show. Here's the director, Brian Farnham, who hasn't just made Rosemary and Thyme. Oh, no. He's been in the business 30 years with a long and varied career.
The director on the Spanish episodes is Brian Farnham, one of the most experienced in British television. His credits include Rock Follies, Poirot and Heartbeat.
Yeah, I'll keep quiet about those if I were you. Crime-fighting gardeners. How did they come up with that?
Gardens are pretty dangerous places.
No, they're not.
He comes up with something that is very, very obvious. Gardeners finding bodies is so obvious.
No, it isn't. If gardeners are always coming across bodies, how come they don't? So, is there a simple way to remember what the show's about?
They're Cagney and Lacey with secateurs.
I see, yes, Cagney and Lacey with secateurs.
Well, I love Rosemary and Thyme. It's like Ground Force meets Miss Marple.
Sorry, yeah, Ground Force meets Miss Marple. That's better.
Thelma and Louise with flowers.
A sort of gardener's world with corpses. Make your mind up! How do you throw out an old, unwanted skip, though, eh?
But right now, there's no chance of any of this.
You hire a skip, don't you? Hello? Who's this? What's that? Say that again. That's right, it's Me or the Dog, the show that teaches dog owners how to behave.
My teeth are smiling. Hello, beautiful dog.
This week it was the turn of Rufus the Dachshund. All dogs are bred for a purpose. Alsatians make good guard dogs. Collies are good for rounding up sheep. What are Dachshunds bred for? Trawlermen, of course. Fishing dogs. That's right. They'd hire a boat and set sail, catch mackerel in nets. The Corgi, of course, bred to approve the work of gas fitters. Basically, this show is Super Nanny for dog owners. Oh, did I say Super Nanny?
Rufus barks at the TV.
He doesn't like Super Nanny. In fact, Rufus the Dachshund has fairly strong views about a number of TV programmes. That's right. It's Rufus's TV Burp.
Police officer's been charged with murder.
Well, then, have you heard of the hemorrhagic poxes?
They're Cagney and Lacey with secateurs.
Yeah, not as easy as it looks, is it? I must say, I am enjoying the BBC's new police drama, Life on Mars.
My name is Sam Tyler. I had an accident and I woke up in 1973. Am I mad, in a coma, or back in time?
Wait a minute, solving crimes in olden times? I've seen that before somewhere. It's Heartbeat! Hands off our shows! No, fair enough, we did nick Dancing on Ice. It's great to see how the police worked back in the 70s, though. A simpler time, a time of innocence. When they could operate in swimming trunks without there being any saucy implications.
So you think we may harm your No, that's not it, is it? Anyways, you have the right to remain silent. You're nicked!
You're nicked! Hang on, they're doing it again.
Right, you two are nicked.
Hands off our shows! Well, the Sweeney had Jack Regan, Life on Mars has DCI Gene Hunt. But which tough, no-nonsense 70s copper is best? There's only one way to find out. Welcome back. We catch a glimpse of Pete Burns without the makeup.
It's a very, very...
Patrick Stewart reveals strong feelings about Emmerdale.
I started out on a single farm, became a national disaster.
After being booted off Dancing on Ice, Andy Peters goes home. On Diet Doctors, they finally come out and say what we've all been thinking.
You are fat. You are fat.
You are fat. Thank you very much, Doctor. Do you ever get that thing when you press the top of your head and it makes the sound of a train? Mind the doors. Ah, EastEnders. It was the Miller twins' birthday this week.
Happy birthday to you.
Woo!
Wait a minute, that cake. I've seen it somewhere else on EastEnders. There's the cake, look. And what's that? It's another whale. You're wasting your time. Big Brother's over. I think we all like a good joke, don't we?
Yes, Harry!
The funniest one I heard this week was from Sonia on EastEnders. I'm laughing just thinking about it.
What about all them bedtime stories you've been reading, Rebecca?
Yeah, but The Princess and the Pea isn't exactly Shakespeare, is it, babe?
Princess and the Pea. Not exactly Shakespeare. I can't understand why anyone wouldn't find that funny.
The Princess and the Pea isn't exactly Shakespeare, is it, babe?
Yeah, actually, hearing it again, it's not that funny, is it? It was nice to hear the sound of happy laughter on EastEnders, because it can be a bit grim. For instance, here's the week on Emmerdale.
Oh, come on, you've got to see the funny side.
Compare that with EastEnders.
You flaming prat.
It seemed to me that the BBC were planning a new spin-off show for Doc Cotton.
What's this going to prove?
Well, I don't think that Bradley had enough time to do anything to Stacey. Now, you run off round to Pat's, get some water, and come back here.
What water?
The water what you got for Stacey.
What, do I have to go and get it for real?
I'm trying to show that you can't have been gone that long.
I wasn't.
It's Cotton and Butcher. They've nicked that from us as well. It's Starsky and Hutch meets elderly religious fanatic and big lady that used to be on the game. Her second case could be that of Jim Branner's disappearing hat.
Clearing out Sonia's room.
Now you see it.
Did you get that magazine I asked you to?
No, you don't. Oh, excuse me. Hello, Noel. The Princess and the Pea. It's hardly Shakespeare, is it? It's nice to see people who used to live in Wolford getting on, though. I saw Nigel off EastEnders has recently qualified as a surgeon and is working in Holby City.
How is he? Take a fruit pie, stick in your thumb. What are the chances of pulling out a plum?
Riddle me read. My first is in heart attack, but not in stroke. My second is in asthma, and not in smoke. Don't talk in riddles, man.
In the chest, there's the heart, lungs, esophagus, spleen, liver, blood vessels, lots of fruit, all together. In Rob's case, the questing thumb miraculously impaled a plum.
He's been stabbed in the chest. You shouldn't be anywhere near his plums.
Talking to you is like this. You've made your bed, son. Now lie on it.
He is.
Hi, Harry. Wendy Peters from Coronation Street here. We do things differently up north, not like you soft southerners. Take the Weatherfield branch of Interflora. Say it with flowers.
And elsewhere on Coronation Street, Shelley offered us her Roland Rat impression.
Not that I expect you to take any notice of me. I wouldn't if I were you.
Leanne Battersby offered us her Andy off Little Britain.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that one. But the big story on Corrie was that they managed to track down the alien that appeared in that Roswell B film. It's alive and well, and living with Ken and Deirdre. That's what the B stands for. Blanche. Here, how do you make digging exciting? Hey, really cool digging. This was Megastructures, the story of the building of the Melau Bridge. It seems that the town's mayor got the idea for the shape of the bridge from his own eyebrows. Well, you know, I learned a lot about bridge engineering from this show.
These cave systems, close to Millau, are home to a unique bacteria responsible for the blue mold in the world-famous Roquefort cheese. But what's perfect for cheese could be disastrous for a megastructure.
Now he tells me. Oh, this week I found Russell Grant off Fit Club's shopping list.
13 bowls of cereal with 2 pints of semi-skimmed milk and 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1 bacon sandwich with butter, 4 slices of bread and butter, 1 fried chicken wrap.
Of course not, no. This is everyone's favourite, You Are What You Eat. And after showing us what you shouldn't eat, she shows us what we should eat.
The takeaways are banned, and in their place will be a new regime packed full of fresh foods, such as fish, berries and greens.
All that lovely fresh fruit. But they do add a little warning.
Anyone tackling a change of diet should contact their GP first, which Laura has done already.
Yeah, always check with your GP, yeah. There's a tough one for him. Hey? Stay on the burgers, kebabs and chips, or go for the fresh fruit and veg. Who's his GP? Peter Stringfellow? This week, host Gillian McKeith got to grips with Laura, who had a kebab and pizza habit. In fact, she liked them so much, she was feeding them to her kids.
Laura, I've broken down an average portion of doner kebab, and I've worked out there's actually more fat and calories than in a bowl of dog food, and they're both the same portions, by the way. So, by all intents and purposes, you'd be better off eating the dog food, wouldn't you? So the question is, would you feed dog food to your child?
Don't give her any ideas. Mind you, I've been feeding my kids on dog food for years. It hasn't done them any harm. Go and do your own work. Of course, she's not helped by the fact that she's got an Oompa Loompa working for her buying the pizzas. So, our Gillian, she really lays into Laura's eating habits, particularly the kebabs.
The worst part of it is, it's the very end part of the meat, the part that nobody really wants.
Oh, it's all right to slag them off, but not in front of the kebab, eh? How do you think he feels? Do you ever get that feeling that a show might not live up to the preview for it?
We were just giving Malcolm here a lift.
Malcolm?
Hello, love.
Malcolm's my husband. He's dead.
Oh, don't worry up. Mushrooms. I'm home.
It's not that easy. I'm married again.
What's up?
Have you ate any? Not as yet.
Because normally, Heartbeat moves at a slightly slower pace, doesn't it? Oh, that reminds me. We must just tell you a bit about what we've got on this show next week. Next week on TV Burp. Take a look at this clip from Emmerdale. EastEnders now. Isn't it weird how people end up looking like their pencil sharpeners, though, eh? Did you see this on Diet Doctors? There's only one way to find out. Fight! Well, that's all we've got time for then. Come in. It's the kebab off You Are What You Eat. What's up, little kebab? Nobody loves me. Oh, come on in. Come on.
I live so lonely.
Come on, behind here.
I have nobody to call my own. Woke up in the middle of the night.
I noticed my girl wasn't by my side.
Could have sworn I was dreaming.
For her I was feeding.
So I had to take a little ride. Lonely. I am so lonely.
Come on.
I need nobody to call my own.
So lonely.
transformations to be proud of next tonight at Stars in Their Eyes Kids. And after that, will a certain judge be the one skating on thin ice tonight? Will the celebs keep their cool? It's Dancing on Ice at 6:45, followed by Millionaire. That's at 8.
To TV Burp. On Coronation Street, Dev tries to rekindle his love life.
Let me have a little look at them. Well, what about yesterday? You let me see them yesterday.
That's enough! Costume budget runs out on Emmerdale. And it turns out Big Brother's Chantel has a sister who's just as talented as her. You hate it when you go into a pub and Charles Kennedy has got to the bar first. No, of course not, no. This was relocation, relocation, relocation. It's like location, 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 only instead of them not buying one property at the end of the show, they don't buy two. We met mother and daughter who like to live together. And who, in theory, are looking for two particular properties.
Loads of us dream of it, but this week we're helping a mother and daughter do it. To up sticks and leave this urban jungle.
They want to rule their own roost and buy themselves a country pub with B&B.
They're after the perfect country pub and B&B. So what do Kirsty and Phil show them round?
It's not quite what you set out to achieve.
What a lovely country pub feel that's got. Drink, anyone? Please, do sit down. Feel free to use the ladder. Isn't it weird when your fireplace ends up looking like the Crazy Frog, though, eh?
Bing, bing, bam,
Ah, Kirsty. The thinking man's Kim Marsh.
I've come here to bath.
And I'm going over there to wash my hair. I'm sure a lot of fellas out there have often wondered why Phil and Kirsty have never got it together.
Cheers to hot.
Fine, my mistake, fair enough. Live and let live. Inspector Morse's sidekick Lewis is back, here on ITV1 with his own show. Yes, it's quite a lavish affair with their potent mix of crime, Oxford and classical music. But I think they scrimped a bit on the opening titles. The pace is fairly gentle, and at 2 hours, it looked like it was a challenge for Lewis himself.
My experience, people don't always think straight.
I think part of it is the choice of music. Take the car chase. See, I'm used to something a bit more upbeat, like this on Life on Mars. Exciting, eh? See, with Lewis, the action's the same, but the music... See, if you change the music, you change the whole feel of a show. See, if you change Coronation Street's title music... changes the feel of the show. Take Heartbeat.
I am an antichrist.
Take the ITV News. Changes the feel of the show. EastEnders.
I was looking for a job and then I found a job.
Yeah, obviously it's not always the case. Oh, excuse I'm loving this game.
I know you're loving this game.
What would be a surefire way to open a show, though, eh? Something that's really going to draw in the viewer. Now, picture the scene. You're sitting watching TV one night, minding your own business, when there comes a knock at the door and... it's Daniela Westbrook and Derek Acora after their Betterware catalogue.
All right, I'll have the chamois.
Yes, it's Derek Acora's Ghost Towns. And this time, he's in Stafford. Yes, Stafford. And why do the people of Stafford think it might be haunted?
Local residents flock to the ghost truck to tell us about their paranormal experiences.
I believe Stafford is definitely haunted.
It's just not a nice place to walk about, really, you know.
Not a nice place to walk about, really? That's half the country, mate. You don't need Derek Acora, you need half a dozen Asbos. Even the ghosts in Stafford have got an attitude problem.
Anything, touch any of us, just do something.
Oi, leave Derek alone. I think we've all done this, haven't we, lads? You can't find the loo, so you use the shower cubicle. Where are you? Sorry? Oi, watch it! A perfectly good pair of suede shoes ruined. On EastEnders, Keith and Rosie Miller got back together and celebrated with a romantic evening in.
I'll be home in a minute.
I was thinking, you know, we could give the dog a bath together this afternoon. Just with us.
Oh, I look forward to it.
Yeah, then when we finish that, why don't we eat the nits off each other's hair? Now, what's your worst nightmare, though, eh?
How's that? We're allowed to do this. It was a long time ago, I haven't had any complaints since.
Good grief! It can't get any worse, can it? What's going on? Nice to see those salsa lessons have paid off, Pat. Mind you, look at Joe, the teacher. Look at his dancing. That's just popping about a bit, isn't it? That Joe, the salsa teacher, I recognise his voice from somewhere.
Billy asked Honey, the barmaid, to marry him.
Mr. Ben went into...
It's the bloke off Mr. Ben.
As if by magic, the shopkeeper appeared.
One day, Mr. Ben decided to get his washing done. So he went into the launderette. As if by magic, Pauline Fowler arrived. "What do you want?" she said, and pretended not to be interested in him. "Oh, come on, you know you want it really," said Mr. Ben, and tried to force himself upon her. Just then, Dot Cotton walked in. "Oh, I say," she said, and Mr. Ben ran out of the shop adjusting his trousers. Yeah, well, you get the idea with that. This whole Pauline and Joe thing, will they, won't they? If she's not careful, she's going to lose him. That's why I wrote to Pauline this week. Yes, well, I felt I had to. Don't you hate it when your top lip sticks to your teeth, though, eh?
It was obviously a total Fruit Loop.
It's ITV1's hit new show, 11th Hour, with Jean-Luc Picard playing Chief Scientist Ian Hood, investigating the effects of global warming on some of the major cities in the world. Sydney, Bombay, Helsinki, Rotterdam, Copenhagen, Barcelona, Lagos, New York, Rio de Janeiro, Los Angeles. Oh, my God. And Norwich. How How would the world cope without Norwich? The nerve centre of the key cutting and shoe repair industry. Imagine a world without Norwich. Where would we go for our puppet entertainment if there was no Norwich Puppet Theatre? And where could we purchase the same wide range of mustards available at the mustard shop? 15 The Arcade, Norwich. If Norwich itself was destroyed. Go, Ozone, go on, clear off. I'm kidding. I love Norwich. Hood was also looking into a mysterious suicide.
I wonder when he created this file. Maybe he's still alive.
It was 9:30 this morning. Hey, he's gone, Hood. He must have done this before he killed himself.
Yeah, he must have sent the email before he killed himself. Not necessarily. It could happen. As a general rule, if your husband doesn't hear you the first time, girls, just repeat it in a higher voice.
She could be dying. Jake, our daughter, your daughter, she could be dying.
It's Casualty. And you know, it's never too late to change your career.
Did you hurt your wrist again when you fell? No, it's getting better. But it's still playing havoc with my love life.
You have to excuse my mother. She's always wanted to be a stand-up comic.
Yeah, I wouldn't open with it. Hey? While on Holby, Nigel off EastEnders was involved in a power struggle.
I really think that you should apply, for no other reason than that competition is good. And the staff prefer taking instructions from you.
Well, they'd probably prefer taking instructions from Nookie Bear rather than Napoleon, but who is the better leader?
Who is the better leader? Nookie Bear or Napoleon? There's only one way to find out. See you after the break. Go on, Welcome back. Bed shortage on Holby.
I'm in bed.
Pete Burns seen without his makeup.
Travelling.
And this week we discovered the true identity of the banker on Deal or No Deal.
Deal.
It was Rita all along. Yes, it's Corrie. And Dev was on top form using every acting method in the book.
The Stevie Boy!
The Stevie Boy! And do you do that thing with the windows on your doors? Make them different sizes according to the size of the people you've got visiting? Yes. He's a big bloke, is our Fred. I said he's a big bloke, is our Fred. But he's on a diet. He went to eat some nuts this week, but thought twice about it.
Better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Save him for later. I said save him for later. I tell you what, though, there is such a wide range of greetings cards available these days, isn't there? Almost one for every occasion.
What does it say?
To Sarah, I still think of you as my daughter. Weren't we a wonderful family until your mother insisted on spoiling everything? Happy birthday. Love, Richard.
Yes, a new range of bitter greetings cards. We've got some of them here. Look at this one. Happy anniversary, darling wife. 25 years. Wasted being chained to you, you bitch. Why can't you cut me loose and allow me to soar? Another one. Congratulations, son, on passing your exams. Now perhaps you can move out, get a job, and stop bleeding us dry, you misfit. And then this one. At 21 today, you've got the key of the door. Can me and your mother have it back, please? Rather fun. The Fonz is back. He's alive and well and living in Sun Hill.
And he also does evening...
Hey, it's the Fonz. Yes, it's our own The Bill. And romance was in the air.
Cindy, I'd do anything to make you happy. And if kids mean that much to you, then all right, let's just get on with it.
Well, if you put it that way, I'll get me shorty nighty. At Sun Hill, Romani and DC Terry Perkins stumbled on a rather disturbing murder case.
What's that doll's head?
Someone's been going round murdering dolls.
We saw a doll's head under the chair in the living room. Whose is it?
Yeah, what have you done with the body? Who's going to break the news to Teddy? I think it could only be done by one of the other toys. Ring, 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 ring. Oh, there's no one there. We'll have to break the door down. No, it's okay. Look, here comes someone. Oh, hello? I'm afraid it's bad news. Oh, no, not Dolly. Yes, I'm afraid Dolly's been murdered. Did she have any enemies at all? No, not that I can think of. Look out, Sarge. It's a Teletubby with a gun. Oh, look. But here comes Mr. Ben. It's Mr. Ben. He's sorting out all the Yeah, well, you get the idea of that. Well, I was very pleased to see that Kiss are getting back together. It's rock school, too. Self-styled rock god Gene Simmons teaches kids to rock. Gene was worried about the kids' low aspirations. Mind you, he hasn't always got the highest aspirations himself.
I can walk into a party and walk out with your wife.
I'm sure she's perfectly charming. Early on in the show, Gene gets to meet one of Lowestoft's own rock gods.
I'm an old rock and roller myself. Been in bands 30-odd years.
Anything I've heard of?
You may have done. I was in a band called Splodgeness Abounds.
Of course, yes, Splodgeness Abounds. They had that hit, what was it called?
No, double time, baby.
Well, I can see why it's called 2 pints of lager and a trays of scrapes.
Yeah, 2 pints of lager and a trays of scrapes. Yes, like the sitcom, 2 pints of lager and a trays of scrapes. I've got their album here, as a matter of fact, yeah. Here we are, Splodgeness Abounds. They named a lot of their songs after sitcoms. There's Men Behoving Flangely, My Flampley, and my favourite, The Vicar of Dibley. Which brings us to Royal Anecdote of the Week.
Royal Anecdote of the Week.
On one occasion, it was the King and Queen of Tonga. One of the horses pulling the carriage lifted its tail, and what I can only describe as a cracking explosion of wind rattled through the carriage. The Queen put her hand on the King's knee and said, "I'm terribly sorry about that awful noise." And in a flash, he leaned forward and said, "That's quite all right, Your Majesty. I thought it was one of the horses."
One of the horses. Yes, it's Paul Burrell. On ITV2's Australian Princess.
I suppose you're wondering why I'm stood here with an empty suitcase.
Don't tell me, you're off to Kensington Palace to get some more stuff. Hey? No, be fair on Paul. To the Australians, he's a sort of superhero. And like all superheroes, he has his special powers.
I know how to set a perfect table. I've set a table for over 300 people. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it.
It's Super Butler! And it's all leading up to a big dinner for Australia's top brass.
Colonel Khalil Patel is attending, an ex-British Army colonel.
And I was actually putting faces to them.
He is yeast intolerant and not very good with women.
He sounds like a bundle laugh. Poor Paul. As hard as he tried, the girls just didn't get the importance of good table laying.
The spoon was underneath the fork.
What? Spoon under a fork?
I had 3 peppers on my table.
I had 2 salts.
What's going on?
What's going on? Spoons in the wrong place. Surfeit of pepper pots. It's utter chaos. Call Super Butler. The problem is, he's dealing with Australians. Australian etiquette is very different to English etiquette. If you're inviting an Australian friend round, here's how you lay the table. Remember, it's paper plate, can of lager, bog roll. Even though he no longer works for her, you can tell he's still a bit wary of the Queen.
Head of the Commonwealth, defender of the faith, the Queen.
The Queen, God bless her.
She's not here, is she? Let's not forget, this is a competition, and the prize is to come to England. I've heard Norwich is nice. And one of the girls is singled out for special treatment.
Congratulations, Laura Kay. The time has come to have a treat, and I feel you will respond well to the encouragement. An upgrade to business class.
I don't believe it. Upgraded to business class. Good job he didn't mention the complimentary slipperettes. It's not just laying tables, though. No, Paul was keen that they learn some royal pursuits, such as fencing. It's Borrow. He breaks into your house, lays your table, and vanishes into the night, leaving only a B written on your mirror in lipstick. Well, the would-be princesses tried their hand at archery.
And release the bowstring.
That's all from us, and to sing us out, it's Splodgeness Abounds.
2 pints of lager with a packet of crisps, please, over here. Oi, 2 pints of lager with a packet of crisps, please. 2 pints of lager with a packet of crisps, please. What you serve me?
2 pints of lager and a flat of crisps, please. 2 pints of lager and a flat of crisps, please. 2 pints of lager and a flat of crisps, please.
Cats here with more Stars in Their Eyes Kids next tonight, with even more sequins after that. The stakes are high in Dancing on Ice. It's Vegas night tonight. Bit of a gamble at 5 to 7, followed by Millionaire. That's at 8.
To TV Burp. Budget runs out on ITV's new safari drama, Wild at Heart. If you were looking for a lion, you should have watched Dancing on Ice. Growl. Riverdance comes to Holby. It's Michael Flatline. You know, when you've had your stomach stapled to help you lose weight, it's so difficult to know what you should and shouldn't eat, isn't it?
So just run through what you're eating at the moment.
In the morning, I had a slice of pizza.
Slice of pizza first thing? That should be fine, shouldn't it?
I had a muffin in the afternoon, because I was peckish. He was there looking at me.
Feeling peckish. Why don't you eat me?
I do have a frozen... You can get the frozen chow mein.
I would have thought that the pounds would be falling off. Something as light as a frozen chow mein.
I went to bed and I felt really hungry, so I thought, oh, I'll go and have a piece of pie, so I did.
Yeah, the old pizza pie, muffin, frozen chow mein, pie diet. Do you think she might have gone home without the fact sheet? You thought frozen chow mein was bad enough. Here's another of her clients.
I've had cats for years and it's never happened before, and it's just had this overwhelming urge to eat the cat food.
Can I have some, Stuffer?
Yeah, help yourself.
Thank you.
No, not at all.
Yeah, what? It tastes a little bit like...
One wouldn't know the difference between that and a shepherd's pie, if the truth be known.
Oh, shepherd's pie! Of course I'm not eating cat food. For any of the kids watching, we've got a tin of cat food and a tin of stew, and swap the labels.
Harry, here's the tin of stew for the cat food item. You just need to swap the...
Now, who was it that used to live in Kensington Palace? Someone famous.
You went to Kensington Palace. Another one of my former homes.
Port Burrell, of course, yeah. It's Australian Princess. And it's come to England. Yes, they've whittled it down to 5 no-hopers instead of 14. I brought them over here. As if Earl's Court wasn't crowded enough. So the quiz continues, and Paul himself becomes quizmaster.
What did Princess Victoria discover in her bedroom at Kensington Palace?
Her butler going through her stuff? But it's not all quizzes. No, the prospective princesses get to go on a mystery trip. Where will they be going? Well, there's a clue in the spoons.
On the handle of each of these spoons is a picture. And that will give you a clue as to where you will go.
I wonder where I might be going. Is it London? A couple of the girls get to go to Westminster Abbey and are shown around by a chess piece. And on their return, there's a slap-up dinner in a country house.
If the Queen had been sat at that table last night, she wouldn't have found anything amiss.
Apart from you sat down eating your dinner. Hey, hold your ironing. Anthea Turner's back. Hey! With Anthea Turner, perfect housewife. Now, she's been off our screens for a while, so how has she replaced the adrenaline buzz that she used to get off presenting telly? A buzz that I'm experiencing right now. What's lighting your candle these days, Anth?
Now, what you're trying to do is to create a look that has no edges, so you don't see any edges on the towel. And this is the way that you do it. You fold that over, and that's what a towel should look like.
What's the upside of that method of folding then, Anne?
You can move that towel around the house as many times as you want to.
Why would you want to move a towel around the house, Anthea, to allow it a change of scenery? No, you're far better off taking it for long walks, or perhaps take it to the mustard shop in Norwich. See, I've gone on an advanced towel folding course. Yeah. Here we go. You see, you take the towel like that, all right? OK, you fold it once. OK, so that corner meets that one, right? Then you fold that across there. You tuck that one in there, fold it over. You do that, like that, and then like that. There you are. It's a swan. It's a swan. The idea was that Anthea would show 2 women how to be better housewives. And she hasn't lost any of the girl-next-door charm that cast a spell on Eamon Holmes.
What is the definition of a kitchen? What do you do in a kitchen?
I don't know. I only have mine because it came with the house.
Don't mess with me! Anthea wasted no time. Well, none of hers, anyway. Teaching the women how to tidy up. First up, Anthea's main tip is to run your house like a small hotel.
We've said you run your home a little bit like a small hotel, very efficiently.
Yes, my mum runs her house like a small hotel. Yes, I would ask, why is that man staying overnight, Mum? I'm running the house like a small hotel, she would say. Find out how Mr. Glover wants his egg. Anthea moved on to the bedroom. And what do you stuff your pillows with?
But the weight in that pillow is made up of dead skin, sweat, feces, dead mice, and some that are still alive.
See, in mine, I've got feathers.
And why do you think that I've put those little cotton wool pads on that skirt in particular?
Because you're having a mental breakdown? No. Be fair, there were a number of handy tips to help you run your house more efficiently, like how to play the piano with a feather duster. I don't know about you, though. I can never find my shoes.
One for the girls. If you need to put your hands on the right pair of shoes quickly, pop them into see-through boxes, or take a Polaroid and stick it on the front.
Yeah. See, the problem with that is sometimes you end up putting the shoe boxes on your feet instead of the shoes. Going around taking Polaroids of your shoes, you get the feeling she's just trying to keep herself busy.
Hi, I'm Anthea Turner, and I've got some handy tips on how to be a better housewife. Haven't I, Mr. Towel? Oh, yes, Anthea. Girls, are you fed up with not being able to tell what photographs are of when they're face down? Do what I do. Take Polaroids of the photos, then stick that on the back of the photo. That way, you can tell what the photo is just by looking at the back of it. Then you wrap that in cling film to protect it. While it's all protected, you can use it to eat yogurts. Oh dear, I've spilled some on the carpet. That's okay. Just take a photograph of a normal bit of carpet and place it over the top of it. Oh no, I've spilled red wine all over the white sofa. Oh God, that and the yogurt. And I've got to take Polaroids of all my pets. At this rate, I'm going to be so busy, I'm not going to get anything else done.
That's better. Now I can remember who you are.
Anthea Turner there, yeah. What a good sport. Anthea Turner, Paul Burrell. Which is the better at telling us where we're going wrong? There's only one way to find out. See you after the break. Go on, Anthea. Go on. Welcome back. After appearing in 11th Hour, Patrick Stewart comes clean.
I think I'm an idiot.
Flat screen TVs come to Emmerdale. Don't buy the cheap ones. 5 shows a week takes its toll on Corrie's Rita.
Rita? I don't think I can stand much more of this.
And it turns out that Chantel off Big Brother has an equally talented cousin.
Hi, Harry. Stephen Tompkinson here from Wild at Heart. Isn't it embarrassing when you're having a party and your guests are so jumpy that they panic when a couple of balloons burst? Wait! Don't forget your party bag.
Hey, you seen those new deliver your own baby tapes you can get?
The head, there's hair on it. It's all...
Keep pushing, Harold.
Don't forget your breathing, Robbie. You're doing...
That's the cutbacks for you. Elsewhere in Holby, Mr. Griffin seemed to be running a sideline as a careers officer.
There's a post of a new consultant about to be advertised.
Are you trying to get rid of me already?
No, I just think you're ready for the challenge. You know, there's an acting sister's job going on. You can put in a word. There's a consultant post that needs to be filled. I've heard. Yes, Tyson. An acting war sister. Come on, Diane, why don't you go for the consultant's position?
Just get back to curing people. Now, when I used to go and visit my nan in hospital, I used to take her chalks or flowers. It's not quite the same for EastEnders' Miller family.
I got your slippers, got your couple of nighties, and there was some post, and I got your fags.
Get well soon, then. And as the saucy affair between Pat and Patrick rumbled on, we asked the question, are you too old for sex? Yes. Yes, you are, Pat. What's got into Pat? 1 minute she's massaging Patrick's back, the next abusing his business.
I would rather take a knife and fork and eat dog poo off of the street than come back and work with you.
Knife and fork? To eat dog poo? Don't be disgusting. You use a spoon, don't you? Then you watch Paul Burrell. Techno came to Coronation Street. Norris. Rita was very worried about him.
One of these days, I'm expecting him to explode.
Yes, and she had every right to be worried.
One of these days, I'm expecting him to explode.
How are you bearing up?
Well, personally, I don't think she's...
Isn't it exciting, though, when your van starts up first time? Who said slapstick was dead? It's alive and well and living on Corrie.
Charlie has asked us to move in with him, so I just need time to pack.
It's just like the old days of the silent movies. And now, my favourite TV show, Derek Acorah's Ghost Towns. And this week, they were in Blackpool. Yes, Blackpool, where they'd heard tell of some strange goings-on.
All the lights were off and the doors were locked and I heard voices coming from the corner.
I saw the shape of a man in the room, and then I could feel him trying to get into bed beside me.
Yeah, sorry about that, love. Yeah, sorry. Derek and Daniela Westbrook off EastEnders went straight to the Grand Theatre to investigate.
How does it make you feel being here?
Well, first of all, Angus, just standing here now at the moment, I am feeling presently, without a doubt, is that we are being listened to. Where we're standing now, we're being listened to, and we are being monitored and we're being watched.
Well, it's only living TV, but someone will be watching. You know, it's not 5:30 ITV1, is it? But you know...
It's a bit worrying to start off with. A little bit hers on the back of the neck job.
That's because you haven't got any hair on the top of your head. You're all neck, basically. Just in case you're thinking, hang on a minute, this is just a bit of flim-flam. It's all done scientifically.
All the Ghost Towns investigations are monitored by the Paranormal Research Team, using state-of-the-art equipment.
Free with issue 1 of Ghost Hunter magazine. So, Derek and Daniela sort out the spooks in Blackpool, but their thirst for the supernatural is not sated. No, the psychic buffet continues on the way home.
Someone coming?
Yeah.
Hello, sorry to bother you. I'm Daniela Westbrook. This is Derek Acorah from Derek Acorah's Ghost Towns. We were driving along your road and Derek felt very drawn to your house. Would it be possible that we could come in so Derek could give you a reading, please?
Yeah, the meter's under the stairs. Derek stops by and does a psychic reading. She's a complete stranger. He's never met her before, but still, he manages to drop this little bombshell.
Now, I'm seeing a lady, and her hair wasn't virtually, she was white. She had white hair.
My nana.
Did your nan have white hair?
Yeah.
Did your nan have white hair? Would I be right in thinking that she was a woman? 5 fingers on the right hand, same number on the left. Would she often greet you with the phrase, hello? And would I be right in thinking that of a Sunday night she would watch Heartbeat? All this, and he's never met her. It gets even more spooky.
Right, and this is what she's just said to me now, bless her. There's been very strong thoughts about getting, her words, the laser eye correction. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, someone's just whipped me all the way down to Australia. Wow. Is there a link with Australia?
I want to go and live there.
Yes.
How on earth could he have known about the link to Australia and the eye surgery plans? Well, if we just look at the other side of the room there. Things to do. Laser eye surgery, trip to Australia, take Heartbeat for Nan crossed out. He's not the only psychic on the box, though, is Derek. No, there's Mia Dolan from Haunted Homes on ITV2. And she's good, yeah. She can tell a lot about your house just from your stuff.
It's a great way to get a feel of a property you're going to. It's like the first clues.
A horse brass. The first image that I get with this is a really old fireplace with old bricks.
You're sticking your neck out, aren't you, love? I always associate a horse brass with a flat-screen TV or fold-down bed. On Haunted Homes, Mia saw the ghost of a cherished pet.
The Hassets think that Mia has been spot on with her findings.
It's a dog that we used to have called Horrible.
Charming, that is. Okay. Horrible the dog. Horrible! Your dinner's ready! Sit, Horrible, sit! Take a look at how Mia gets rid of ghosts. She uses an incantation.
Te propetatio est, et proptiliam tuam.
Chihuahua.
In Domini. Ex omnibus.
Omnibus. Haribo's. Domino pizza with grated cheesicus. Krampus. And a little cough-linctus. And if you play that lot backwards, you'll find out what it really means. I'm not as good as Derek Acora. I'm not as good as Derek Acora. Haven't Oasis let themselves go, though, eh?
Call this rally.
Of course not. It's the Dingles. Ah, the people up north. They're that much more warm and friendly, though, aren't they?
I hate you.
And the top of the morning to you, too. Now, you're probably thinking, with Patsy Kensit gone from Emmerdale, how are they going to replace the glamour that she brought? Well, there's a new girl on the block. Martha. Get ready for this, lads.
That's Martha. She's a regular.
You're thinking, wow, with all that going on, I bet the downside's her personality. It's not. She's got it in spades.
Buxton Leeds is beside a coffee shop.
Right.
This one's nicer, but it's next to the abattoir. And there's nothing silent about them ruddy lambs.
Oh, no. Did somebody say abattoir? Quick, run, run, run. Oh, excuse me a moment. This week I put some butter on it.
Potentially life-changing.
Making a funny noise now, actually.
All right, keep your hair on. Is that the time? I better dash. I've got an early Valentine's.
Hooey, Harry. Over here.
Ugh, Martha off Emmerdale.
I've ordered the food. It's your favourite. Cat food.
She's the girl for me. I know I stand in line until you think you have the time to spend the evening with me. And if we go someplace to dance, I know that there's a chance you won't be leaving with me. And afterwards we drop into a quiet little place and have a drink or two. And then you go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like I love you.
Well, if you love Harry, from Monday at 5 every weekday, he has fun with all your films and You've Been Framed. Next this evening, Kat meets more talented kids with stars in their eyes. Then at 7, after last week's shock eviction, who else is on the slippery slope out of Dancing on Ice? And later, a Millionaire special, as Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen is the only one ever to get a second chance. That's at 8.
Welcome to TV Burp, surprise star of the Brits. It's Paul Wellard. Jam overdose on Casualty.
And recess abandoned at 17:40. Thank you.
First cuckoo of spring spotted on Coronation Street. Cuckoo. Pat Butcher centrefold shock for Patrick. And the world's oldest air hostess nearly run over on EastEnders. If you want Dot to be run over by a taxi, press your red buttons now. Sorry, Dot. Sorry, Dot. I didn't see you there, love. It was the week of Pauline's wedding to Joe off Mr. Ben. And Dot and Pauline were out at the shopping centre looking for an outfit. And I don't know what perfume they were wearing, but they were certainly picking up the blokes. Pretty soon, a queue formed.
It's all...
There's one look. Oh, there's another one.
Well, I thought it was very reasonable, you know, considering. No, I didn't mean that. I meant... 2 thoughts.
Oh, there's 3.
So it should be what?
Now 4. Here's another one. Oh, yes, you're never too old to attract a fella, are you, Pat?
What again?
Woman has needs, Patrick.
She's not looking at him, she's looking at his sandwich. Poor Patrick not only has to deal with cheating on his wife, someone's put a public phone box in his front room. Well, I think all our nans used to have odd little sayings, didn't they? The Miller family are no different.
Right, love. Oh, must have smelled the kettle boiling.
That's what your nan used to say.
Smell the kettle boiling. Yeah. Here's some other sayings from Nan Miller. We've got them collected in a book here, right? The sayings of Grandma Miller. Well, there's obviously that first one. I can smell the kettle boiling. Here's another one. Is it me, or can I smell Beethoven's Fifth Symphony in C minor? Would someone please turn up the trifle? I can't hear it. And I heard Patrick and Pat at it again last night. It's disgusting, particularly 7:30 at night when you're trying to have your tea. How long does it take for you to change your mind after you've made a decision?
I don't
really want to be spending my night with a load of old-timers. Come on, it'd be a laugh. Anyway, I want to do it for Joe. He's a nice bloke.
Oh, go on then.
Nice one.
I don't want to go there. See you there. You know what? I had a feeling it was a special day on the soaps on Tuesday, but I couldn't work out what it was. If only there had been more clues.
Is it all right?
Oh,
it's lovely. A bit of romance on Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day?
Who's been sending you Valentine's cards?
Forget Valentine's card.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine card.
Valentine's Day treat.
Tonight's the night for lovers. Unless, of course, they've just had a vasectomy reversal.
Valentine's Day! Silly me! Rosie received a special Valentine's card from, who was it from?
Yeah, no, I wrote it myself.
I can see that.
Love, Keith. I could smell he wrote it himself. Yeah, those X's after Keith's name, yeah, they're not kisses. That's how he spells his surname. So, where was the place to take your Valentine if you lived in Walford?
Well, actually, I've booked us a table at Fargo's.
Really?
And guess what? I've booked us a table for the Valentine's night at Fargo's.
I thought there'd be more in here tonight. Yeah, they're probably all down at Fargo's.
There's a spelling mistake there. What that should be is Argos. Yeah. Table for two at Argos, please. By the window, yeah. You get a menu, a pad and a little pen. Yeah. I've been a bit confused recently. See, in the old days, Little Mo was the thickest person on the square. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, came Honey.
Tracy, do you mind if I take my break a little bit early? I'm suffering from a bit of indiscretion.
Eggy sailor's great.
To top it all off, I go and get a cake in the oven. The thing is, Billy, I feel like a bleached whale. Well, anything can happen in the first sequester, you know.
Yeah, all right, we get the idea. You're thicker than Little Mo. Actually, in that orange roll neck, she looks like a character from Cluedo. It was Miss Thick up the duff in the Queen Vic. Yeah, it was a week of weddings on the soaps. They did the double on Emmerdale, and Shadrach was so moved that he made a short speech. Actually, Shadrach's got a new perfume out. It smells of,
weak tea, cheap food, and the faint but unmistakable smell of urine.
New Shadrach by Lothric. Jack Sugden showed us a good trick, though, producing cups from thin air.
Yeah, but Lamon's coming up. Well, it's a good job I'm an expert, then.
There's good news from Michaela Dodd on Celebrity Fit Club.
You have moved from being morbidly obese to just being obese.
You're just obese!
Hooray! On Celebrity Fit Club, although admittedly they're not celebrities, nor are they fit, and neither is it a club. They did computer-generated pictures of what they'll look like if they lose the weight. It turned out that Russell Grant...
See, I'm sorry I have that. It takes ages.
Oh! Look at my face! Will look like Gene Simmons from Rockstraw. Which brings us to our TV highlight of the week. Spotted Princess Diana on Airport USA.
Don't tell me no.
She's heading off to Australia to get her own back on Port Burrell. Which leads us very neatly to ITV2's Australian Princess. And they're down to 4 contestants. So what? Yeah, all right. And as part of their ongoing training to become real princesses, this week Paul set them the task of writing poetry. They have got 8 weeks to fill, remember? And who better to judge them? Why, poetry expert Paul Burrell.
I play a blade between my toes and tickle it about. A tiny world is tumbled down at my every little sound. An eternal roar, the ocean's trees, they have come rushing down. They stare about and tangle me until I slowly drown.
Didn't understand a word of that.
I've written a poem about Paul Burrell myself, yeah. I've written one about him. Here we go. There once was a butler called Paul And if you went to a fancy dress ball, while you were out, he'd nick all your stuff. Although in the end, the Queen stepped in and he was acquitted, but still. No smoke without fire, eh? No smoke without fire. Needs a bit of work, that one. The would-be princess's next challenge was to talk to an audience of businessmen at Australia House in London. Ooh, they must be really busy. Yeah, and when you're doing one of these talks, it's important to win over your audience from the very start.
I am on that complete end of just coming through a journey actually through depression.
Yeah, start with a gag. Say what you like about Australian Princess, but it did produce one of the best one-liners of the week.
I was sitting at my nana's house having a cup of tea, and she said, actually, if you become the Australian Princess, does that make me the Queen Mother?
Does that make me the Queen Mother? Wonderful. That's a show I'd like to see. Australian Queen Mum.
Hello, ladies, and welcome to Australian Queen Mum. Your chance to live like a real Queen Mum. Now, the Queen Mum loved her golf buggy, and our first challenge is the 100-yard golf buggy run. Ooh! On your marks, get set, go!
Sorry, Dart. Yeah, that's a programme I'd like to see. So it then comes the difficult decision of who to eject from the Big Brother house. Sorry, Australian Princess competition. And Paul seems to have a favourite.
Several weeks ago, I was sitting on my couch at home in Australia, happily enjoying an episode of the Oprah Winfrey Show. My greatest feat was to down a large Big Mac meal in 3 minutes flat.
Princess Diana loved Oprah Winfrey. She loved Big Macs too.
Yeah. Princess Diana loved Oprah Winfrey. She liked Big Macs too. But which is better? There's only one way to find out. See you after the break. Welcome back. Man in Holby discovers his girlfriend is a frog.
Because that position got filled a while back, obviously.
Did it?
Spot the fake giraffe on ITV's safari drama, Wild at Heart.
Pop over and take out a few of dates.
Whee! It suddenly dawns on Emily Bishop that she's been in Coronation Street for 45 years.
What's my life been about? What's it been about?
You spent it all on the same show, love. Holiday Showdown now, where broad-minded people hook up to enjoy new experiences. And this week it was the turn of bisexual video artist the Blackwoods to take ex-military couple the Richardsons, whose hobby is hunting, to the gay bars of San Francisco. How could that possibly lead to any friction? They're video artists. Let's have a look at some of their art then.
People should celebrate whatever sexuality they are.
Yeah, see, if you change the music on that, it's a little more familiar. It's Benny Hill. So the Blackwood family take the Richardson family to San Francisco to help make some video art. But Eleanor, the daughter, was worried she wasn't qualified.
I used a video camera once and filmed my dog whilst commentating. It wasn't that great. Sounds
to me like you're overqualified for that. The idea of San Francisco didn't seem to ring any alarm bells in John.
I can't see them doing something...
No, I can't see them stitching us up or anything.
It's Holiday Showdown! Of course you're going to be stitched up. That's why we tune in to see the arguments. And sure enough, they go to a pool party, San Francisco style.
So on the basis ignorance is bliss, they say nothing...
Oh, look, there's Bonnie Langford off dancing on ice. And there's no putting one past John.
It's pretty obvious by the way they speak and act and the mannerisms. They're homosexuals.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they just haven't met the right girl, you know. You'd think these days, what with rising crime, it's safer not to go out at all. But you can end up in casualty just staying indoors, playing a game.
And then this is Brian Phillips, 34. He's had an accident with a jigsaw.
Some of those corners can be quite sharp. Oh, and if you've ever caught your finger on one of the sticks in Kaplunk, agony. So, there was a jigsaw injury on Casualty, and also a woman admitted with that disease that turns your head into a plastic bag. I know most people use hair clips, but what do you use to keep the hair off your face in the jungle?
But this is...
Yeah. You train a monkey to do it for you. This was Love in a Foreign Climate on our own ITV1. The story of our own lovely British girls falling for fellas abroad. We met Suzanne, who fell for Thai boat boy Chagalang. And here they are talking to a Buddhist monk. And he's obviously telling the monk not to look at the camera. Yeah, don't look at the camera. Yeah. Don't look at the camera. I told you not to look at the camera! No, they've gone to get themselves blessed. And whilst they're there, they think we might as well get the car blessed too. But there's a problem.
We'll be having our car blessed, but they can't do it now because after they've eaten, they can't bless cars. It has to be in the morning for good luck.
Can't bless the car after lunch. I'd love to help, but, you know... All right, I'll take a look at it. Oh, dear, who blessed it for you last time? You see, your feng shui's going to need replacing. We're not getting any in till... Alan, when are we getting the feng shui's in? Monday week, yeah. All right, leave it with me, I'll see what I can do. That was Suzanne in Thailand. Then there was Sue in Zanzibar, who found herself a very special friend.
In all her years as a tour guide, Love had never made it onto the itinerary. Then, at the age of 40, leading a group in Zanzibar, she met Shadrach.
Yeah, they've got Emmerdale over there too. When you meet someone for the first time, what's your opening gambit?
I was one of the first persons in this country to have the balloon inserted into my stomach cavity.
Lovely to make your acquaintance.
I'm not a wallflower. I'm a very flamboyant, colourful person. I've had lots of lovers.
I just remembered I'm double parked.
I'm on my own, I'm single, and I'm looking for the next person.
Lock up your parents. It's supersized surgery. And this is Amanda, who on last week's show confessed to a longing for cat food. As Gillian McKeith says, you are what you eat.
She's been living off crackers.
Then there was Donna, who works at the hospital and who decided to have a nose job.
What we need to do is to...
Yeah, surely drawing on the nose will just attract attention to it. That's one side of a nose. You should see the other side. Yeah. He's been playing Sudoku on that. She decides to go ahead with the operation, but there are a few minor side effects.
Other possible complications, permanent pain or discomfort.
Permanent pain, yes.
Long-lasting swelling.
Swelling.
1 year, sometimes...
Death. Yeah. Bring it on. At least if she did die after the nose job, they'd be able to get the lid on the coffin. Daytime TV show Accidents Can Happen Now with Nadia Sawalha. Which one's she? In which we learn about people who have had accidents that have happened. First up, the Ogilvy family, who had a flood.
The water just kept rising and rising. We were frightened that it was going to come up the stairs even further.
Well, it was rising at a really fast rate.
So it reached the first step, then it reached the second step, and then it reached the third step, and I thought, you know, where's it going to stop?
The fourth step? No, the whole ground floor was flooded, and you should have seen it. It was like...
Everywhere was covered in mud. It was absolutely devastating.
I mean, it was like Apocalypse Now, really.
Just like Apocalypse Now. In fact, much of Apocalypse Now was shot in a 3-bedroom house that had been flooded. What this show did do, though, was to discover a new star. You know, when you see someone on TV and straight away, before they've even opened their mouths, you know they're destined for great things. I call it that Chantel moment.
That's the job of the insurance loss adjuster Martin Cranfield. He's arrived to assess the damage and put the wheels in motion to get this family back on its feet.
He's got it all going on. Just wait till you hear him speak.
I've inspected the property now and there's substantial strength damage to all rooms in the house. I estimate the value of the content anywhere between £15,000 and £25,000.
You're coming to London. Actually, I did send a Valentine's card, yes, to a very special lady. You may know her.
I'll show you what I think of the card. Oh, and the pervert who sent it.
Cancel those flowers. What do you get if you cross Frankenstein and Dracula? Steve McDonald. Or Fracula, as we call him. And you're wondering, why does Fracula pull those funny faces?
He's a monster!
So she. They want a little monster time to themselves. No one wants he hanging around in a new relationship.
Well, he's catching flies with his tongue. Yeah, it's happening so quickly you can't see it. If we slow it down... It's week 3 on Channel 4's Rock School, and KISS frontman Gene Simmons' tuition has really started to bear fruit.
I wanna take my life to new levels, so that my heart rate trebles.
Yeah, lay off the helium song. You're coming to London. Some of the kids were far from pleased with Gene's teaching.
He's punctuality, so punctuality. So alright, punctuality needs to be sorted out.
Yeah, you want to sort out your vocabulary there. Yeah. See, I partly blame Gene. When he brings the band on, I think that maybe his introduction to No Comment gets expectations too high. You know, he toys with the crowd, he builds them up, gets them to fever pitch.
Here they are, no comment!
Excuse me. Here we go. Hello, banker. I feel dirty. That's all we've got time for. And to sing us out, here they are, No Comment.
Well, there's more from Harry every afternoon next week with You've Been Framed at 5. Well, the kids have their go next tonight with stars in their eyes. Then a feather boa and a chair. Find out how they feature in Dancing on Ice at 7:10. And coming later, another cool million on offer if they can keep a cool head. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire at 8:10.